My name is Bree. I am 26 years old and I have a 7-year-old daughter who has been diagnosed with ADHD combined type with ODD. It sounds early, but I feel like I always knew around the 2-year mark. I always worked in childcare, and at that time I had worked for like a pretty reputable childcare, and I just noticed that she wasn't like the other kids. Not that all kids are the same, but she was drastically different. Um, she was a lot harder to calm down. She didn't catch on to the things that they were learning, not at their pace, and really not even close to their pace. And I was always getting calls to go to her room when she was upset. So I guess around 2 years old. 5. We saw a company called Help Me Grow who worked with her until she was 3. And then after that, they dismiss their services and they move you over to the local schools. So that she then attended a special educational preschool with Worthington Schools, and then they take it from there until they go to kindergarten. There isn't really a typical day. Every day is different, every hour is different, every minute is different. But in our house, we wake up around 5 a.m., we get something to eat, we get dressed. I take her and her sisters to daycare. I go to work. Her daycare takes her to school. I pray her daycare or school doesn't call me with any problems that she's having, but most days that happens. And then after work, I pick her up. We come home, we eat, we do homework, we hang out, and it's bedtime. I think Aubrey having ODD has affected them in a sense of now it's harder for them to know what the right thing to do is and what the wrong thing to do is, like when they get angry or don't get their way. It also takes a lot of their special one-on time with me away because I feel like I'm always with Aubrey. It's Aubrey needs help with this, Aubrey needs help with that, Aubrey school this, Aubrey school that. She has dozens and dozens of appointments from behavior therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and I'm always pulled in Aubrey's direction, and it kind of leaves them out. It's affected my relationship with her dad, my parents, friends.
In what way?
A lot of people don't understand it because, like, if we're out and she throws a fit, it's, oh, you need to whoop her butt, or you don't punish her at home, or what's going on in your household that she acts that way. And there's no answer for it. It's just how she is. Me and her dad argue a lot because he doesn't really understand. It's more so he wants to punish, but I want to teach her. I don't want to just send her to her room. And I mean, she would be in her room all day long if that's what I did. She needs to know what she did. She needs to be taught coping skills or how to calm herself down. So we bump heads there. And then, like I said, with friends, if I get invited somewhere, I'm always nervous, like, well, what if we go to Magic Mountain and Aubrey doesn't win the prize she wants? Like, it's going to be a full-on meltdown. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I don't want the judgment. And then I just don't want to hear what anybody has to say. Good days are very far and few between. But on good days, Aubrey is so sweet. Like, she's literally the funniest kid I ever met. And I'm not saying that just because she's mine. Like, even before she could talk and walk, like, she's always made the funniest faces in the world. She still makes those faces. She's literally hilarious. And she can make any day good, and then versus a bad day, it's literally like a whole different child. Like, even her daycare teachers say, like, she's just like a Sour Patch Kid. When she's sour, but when she's sweet. When she's mad, she'll throw chairs, she's flipped tables over, she's hit people, kicked people, spit on people, and it's just a totally different kid. So a good day and a bad day are polar opposites. The most challenging thing I've dealt with so far is, for me, in my opinion, is her social emotional development. It's been really hard for her to make friends because at school, and especially because she's a girl, kids and even adults view it differently when a girl acts that way versus when a guy or a little boy acts that way. So when it comes to friends, you know, she has friends, but she's also known as, oh, that's a little girl who says bad words, or that's a little girl who kicked the teacher or flipped the table over. So that part's hard for me because I don't want her to grow up and not have friends, or for her to grow up and be bullied because of the way she deals with her anger or things that frustrate her, because kids can be cruel. So that's scary for me. That's one thing that's hard for me to deal with, is how she's going to turn out when she gets older if I can't find a way to fix it now. Like you said, it's new, and unless you've personally experienced it or dealt with it, it's really blinding, because what you see as just a child not wanting to listen or not wanting to obey or behave, it's not all that. They really cannot help it. It's not their fault. And just to try to study it and find out as much about it as you need to know. Talk to people who personally have dealt with it, because there's no textbook answer of what you're going to get from a child with ODD.